Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to recap the Monday Night Football game between the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. So at last, after a couple of weeks, I was finally right when it came to a Titans game, but unfortunately I did not want to be right as the Texans defeated the Titans 34-17. I thought it was going to be closer than this. My prediction was, I believe, 23-20. That's what I tweeted before the game. But unfortunately, the defense did not want to play today. Specifically in the first half, the defense was absolutely god-awful. I don't know where they went. I was very disappointed in Jarrell Casey. I didn't see much of him today. Very disappointed in Kevin Byard, who led up the huge run by Lamar Miller. We made Lamar Miller look like prime Chris Johnson, CJ2K, on a 97-yard touchdown run. Ridiculous. We had Deshaun Watson running up the middle of the football field. It was just disastrous. And we got better in the second half, and I feel that we did get hosed on that Deshaun Watson fumble in the fourth quarter with about 8 minutes left. That was absolutely a fumble to me. I cannot believe they did not call that a fumble. And perhaps if we get the ball back down 33-17, or it would have been 30-17, perhaps we scored 2 touchdowns, perhaps win the game, but to me, you can't look at that and say that's why we lost the game. The game was pretty much lost up until that point. We have to look at everything prior to that and look to see what happened with all of that. I just don't know what's going on with this football team. I'll tell you this, they're not a good football team. I don't think that they're bad either. They're not down there with the Oakland Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals and the Buffalo Bills. I mean, no, they're not bad, but they're just not good. And I don't know why. The coaching is not very good. It's not very consistent. Let's start with the offense. Although today they weren't the reason completely why we lost, but there's still a lot of frustrating things offensively. Quarterback Marcus Mariota. I mean, today, are you kidding me? This is the first time I've ever seen anything like this. I think it's the first time in NFL history. We have Marcus Mariota, who finished, actually the game's still going on. I moved away from the game. There's a minute left in the game. But right now his stats are 19 of 20. And he went up to 19 of 19, by the way. Now 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. His passer rating is 152.1, and we lost the game by 17 points. When does this happen? I mean, how often do you see a quarterback with a passer rating over 150 having legitimately thrown 20 passes and you lose the football game? He completed his first 19 passes in this football game, and we somehow lost the football game. That doesn't make sense to me. He took 6 sacks today, and a couple of those sacks were on him. Okay, a couple. I will say of the 6, I would say 2, maybe 3. We can have a debate on the third one. But the offensive line, it's just not in sync. It's not going right now, and that falls on a lot of people's heads. Number one, the talent there was never great, especially in the interior. You look at Josh Klein, who re-signed to a 4-year, $26 million deal. I don't know why we have so much faith in him. I thought you could have drafted a guard in the second or third round, put him in, he'll be just as good as Josh Klein, and he's much cheaper anyway. I would have moved on from Josh Klein. And by the way, that's also why I said I wanted to go out and sign a big free agent guard, or at least a decent one last year, because I didn't think Josh Klein was very good. Ben Jones is getting older in the middle. He's not very good either. And Quinn Spain is serviceable. I think he can start as long as there's a great left tackle next to him, and we do have that. I am still a fan of Taylor Lewan when he's not getting random face masks on first down. I don't know what that face mask was. I mean, dude, you need to chill. Taylor Lewan needs to become more disciplined, and no one wants to tell him that. Mike Mularkey was the only one that got into his head about that. Mike Vrabel's not doing enough of that. Jack Conklin is regressing. He misses Delaney Walker really bad, and we drafted Jack Conklin, okay, an offensive tackle with the 8th overall pick in 2016, a star-studded draft, right? Remember, we could have drafted Joey Bosa, Ezekiel Elliott. No, we traded down and we got Jack Conklin, we got extra draft picks, which we haven't done anything with, okay? Because Derrick Henry barely plays, and Austin Johnson barely plays or doesn't even play very well. Kevin Byard was the 1 pick, but I think we already had that pick. That was an original pick, so it really doesn't matter. So you just look at the picks that we got, and moving down, you wonder if we should have just stayed there and took like a Joey Bosa or an Ezekiel Elliott, because we would have been happier than having Jack Conklin at number 8, who right now is regressing. He could not contain J.J. Watt to save his life today, and neither could Jonnu Smith. Now let me tell you something about Jonnu Smith. I was prepared after the first quarter to come on here today and apologize to Jonnu Smith after his 60, 70-yard touchdown that he had today, because the one thing about Jonnu Smith that I will give him, he's very athletic. If you get the ball to him, he has the ability to break free for a huge touchdown, and we saw that today. But then for the rest of the game, he showed me why he's literally unplayable. Jonnu Smith is Dorial Green Beckham to me. Very athletic, a lot of potential, will never live up to it, and honestly, I think we need to cut him next year. Honestly, I think we need to cut him because he's so poor at blocking. Did you see him running into Dion Lewis on that run? I want to say in the third quarter, literally getting in his way for about 2 whole seconds. He doesn't know what he's doing on a play-to-play basis. On 50% of the ball thrown his way, they're going to go through his blocks of hands. I think he's unplayable, despite his great touchdown today. I really do think he's unplayable. I really do compare him to a tight end version of Dorial Green Beckham. I want him gone, and I want a new tight end in here, a new young tight end in here, and we could have O.J. Howard. I'm not going to, stay on that, but we could have O.J. Howard, and we could have George Kittle. So look at George Kittle for the 49ers. We could have drafted him in the 3rd round. I'm pretty sure, I need to check this, but I'm pretty sure we drafted Jonnu Smith over him, but I know we drafted Taywan Taylor over George Kittle, and that's turning out to be a huge mistake by this franchise, because Jonnu Smith ain't it. Okay, and the game is finally over now. Marcus Mariota finishes 22 of 23, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 147 passer rating, and he lost. And he lost the game. And a couple sacks were on him, but he didn't have an inaccurate pass today. I didn't see his one incompletion, but he didn't have that, and we only got 17 points and we lost the game. So I don't want to hear any hate on Marcus Mariota today. Hopefully people on the national stage can now see, oh, wait a minute, he's actually good. I mean, can we please stop with the nonsense that this guy cannot throw in the pocket? How does a quarterback go 22 of 23 without throwing from the pocket? I mean, you keep hearing Booger McFarland on commentary. I mean, this guy, who is this guy? They have baboons in the Monday Night Football booth now with Jason Witten, who was a great player. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He called Jack Conklin Jonnu Smith. I've never seen 2 distinct individuals before, and he mixed them up on one play. They suck. Booger McFarland keeps saying, oh man, he just needs to continue to improve from the pocket. Marcus Mariota needs to throw from the... That's what he does. I mean, do these people even watch the team? I don't know. I'm sick of it. So I don't want to hear any Mariota hate today. Derrick Henry came in. He ran the ball better. It just didn't matter because our run game, we couldn't develop a consistent run game because we were behind the whole game. But I'd say the run game was okay today, and Mariota was using his legs as best as he could. So whatever there. The receivers, was Taywan Taylor healthy today? Was Tajay Sharp healthy today? Because they didn't get the ball thrown to them. They didn't register on the stat sheet at all. I don't know what's going on. And we keep having targets to Luke Stalker and Anthony Ferkser and Mike Coley-Pruitt. I'm not sure these guys should be on an NFL roster. Okay, and they're, for some reason, our 3rd, 4th, and 5th most targeted targets over the past 3-4 weeks. I mean, this is bad. And Cameron Batson is getting more coverage than Taywan Taylor and Tajay Sharp lately. I mean, this is just not good enough. It's just not good enough. I mean, can you believe this? We miss Eric Decker. We're begging for Eric Decker to come back out of retirement. That is the state of our receiving core right now. It's gotten bad. Defensively, it was disastrous. It was a complete disaster. Brian Orakpo looks older and slower. Derek Morgan, the same thing. Both are upcoming free agents. To me, you re-sign one. I don't care which one. I don't have a preference. Maybe whichever one's cheaper. I like Orakpo, he's a great leader, but man, he's looking a lot slower, and they're not registering sacks. Now, they both shared a sack today. They both had half a sack today, but I don't think either of them have even 3 sacks on the season, and guys, we're 11 games in. I mean, they're supposed to give us at least 7 sacks each, okay? At the very minimum 6, and I prefer 9, okay? And they're not giving us that, so that's a problem. Harold Landry, what is he doing? He's not making an impact anymore. He had like 1 or 2 great games, and he's been silent ever since. We need consistent production from him, and we're not getting that. Rashaan Evans is playing better. Okay, so I'm liking that. Okay, he's starting to fill gas, but again, if you go back and you look at those huge gashing running plays, and I look back and I'll watch it on film, where was he? Right? Where was Daquan Jones? Where were these guys? I'll do an in-depth analysis on that during the week, and I'll send out some tweets about what I saw. But Benny Logan ain't it at nose tackle. We still don't have a nose tackle. I don't think we've ever had a nose tackle. I mean, I don't think we've ever had a guy in the middle of the defense, at least for the past 10 years, that can consistently stop the run. I haven't seen it. If you've seen it, let me know, because I just don't see it on this football team. I haven't seen it in a long time. Jarrell Casey's the best we got. He ain't no nose tackle. Okay, that is a true 3-4 defensive end. Or 4-3 defensive tackle, but not a 1 or 0 technique guy. So, you know, problems there. Adoree Jackson, he played all right, but he had his struggles as well. Malcolm Butler got injured, which was unfortunate, and I do think that is unfortunate because I do think he's improving and he's getting better. So if he can come back healthy. Logan Ryan had a bad hold, but honestly, I thought they were a little nitpicky for him, so I thought he had a fine game. We limited Nuke for the most part, 74 yards, which isn't too bad. But Demaryius Thomas, I mean, he had his 2 touchdowns today, only 38 yards, but 2 touchdowns today. We could have had him. Okay, there was a difference today. If we could have had him instead of letting him be on their team, right, that's a plus for us, that's a negative for them. Instead, it's a negative for us, it's a plus for them, and I think you saw the results of it today. I mean, perhaps if he's not on the football field, then those touchdowns go to Kiki QT or DeAndre Hopkins, perhaps. But I know they would have gone to him because he would have been in a Titans jersey instead of a Texans jersey, and we'll see how that works out for them and for us in the long term. But in the short term, the Texans are going to win the division, and they're going to go to the playoffs, and our fate is still up for grabs. A lot of people are of the belief that the season is over. I do not believe this. Now, there's a lot of reasons to believe this, okay? But number one, as I keep telling you every week, I don't get this team. I don't understand this team. This team could easily win out, period. Because the game that we somehow miraculously won, and not only won, but won extremely convincingly 2 weeks ago, okay? Hosting New England. That's a harder game than all the games we have remaining on our schedule. Just look at the schedule, okay? We host the Jets, we host the Jaguars on Thursday Night Football, we go face the New York Giants, we host the Colt McCoy, Washington Redskins, and we host the Indianapolis Colts. You can win out. I'm saying it's possible. Now, am I going to predict that? No. Because the way this team has produced this season, they don't look like they're capable of winning 4 or 5 games in a row. I just don't think so. However, I did say in my midseason predictions that I had us going 9-7. That was including the loss today, because I had us losing today. What I had during my midseason predictions is I have us beating the Jets, I had us beating the Jaguars, I had us, I believe, losing to the Giants or the Redskins, either or, because I feel like we'll choke one of those, and then beating the Colts. Now, after seeing today, I hope that we would have kept it closer than we did. I'm not sure we can beat the Colts. So, despite me 3 days ago saying something different, I am now leaning, okay, we're probably going to lose to the Colts and go 8-8. But if things go the way I do foresee them, because I do foresee the Ravens going 8-8, I do foresee the Colts going 8-8 if they lose to us. I do foresee the Bengals now going like 7-9, because I did not see them losing to the Browns. If the Dolphins do go 8-8, that does leave open the chance for that Week 17 game to be for the wild card. But that is dependent on the Ravens. They have to have 8 losses, right? Everyone has to have 8 losses except for us. Okay, that's literally the way it has to go, because we lost to the Ravens, we lost to the Dolphins, and if the Bengals get a tiebreaker with us, they win for reasons that because they have a better AFC record than us, because we somehow beat all these NFC teams and we can't beat AFC teams. I don't know why that's our deal, but that's our deal, right? We can't do it. So the losses to the Chargers and the Ravens and the Dolphins, they're coming back to haunt us now. I still think it's possible. I'm leaning against it, but I give us, honestly, I would say a 30% chance of still making the playoffs. I still think it's very viable. I think we could even win out, but I do doubt it, because it requires us to figure out our identity and for us to be consistent. And if we weren't going to do it over the bye week, why are we going to do it now? I mean, what's just going to turn on now? I mean, I just don't see that. So I'm leaning 8-8. Probably, and I will tell you, with that Week 17 game, meaning if we win it, we go in and we are losing anyway, and the Colts getting in instead of us. That is what I'm leaning right now. Or Week 17 could mean nothing, and we win anyway because we did that a couple years ago, and it pissed me off then, so why not piss me off again? All right, so that's where I'm leaning. It ain't over yet, people. Okay, the schedule is easy. I mean, but it's easy for, if we were the Patriots, we're winning out. If we're the Saints, we're winning out. If we're the Rams, we're winning out. We're not those teams, right? That's the problem. We're not consistent. We're not very good. Right now, we're not even good. So I hope, okay, and I don't even know why I'm hoping, because we're going to go face Pittsburgh or New England or maybe Kansas City or LA, and we're going to lose anyway, so who cares, right? But it'd be nice to get in. It'd be nice to get in for the second straight year to become a perennial playoff team. That would be nice, because at least it would keep morale high. It would make expectations for this team that we make the playoffs. Like, that's what we do. That's our move. And then hopefully we can one year make it all the way and win the Super Bowl. We will see. But it ain't over yet, people. Okay, hold on. If we lose any of the games over the next 2 weeks, Jets or Jags, it's over. Okay, it's absolutely over. But I'm holding out hope. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Houston Texans versus Tennessee Titans. And by the way, for the Texans fans, because I know Texans fans want to get their crow, look again. I will tell you, I was wrong on the Texans this season. Okay, it looked great. Oh, it looked so good after the Texans started 0-3. But you guys have won 8 straight games. You will win the AFC South. To me. Although the Colts, they are bearing down a bit. So keep an eye, behind you, because they are coming up from behind. But they are 2 games back. But you guys do face each other, so they could be 1 game back if they win that game. So make sure you keep an eye on them. What will you do in the playoffs? I'm not sure, man. The AFC is just looking so tough right now. You guys will likely have to face the traveling LA Chargers, right? The Chargers would be the 5th seed. You would likely be the 4th, unless the Pittsburgh keeps dropping. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I think with Pittsburgh having lost, you're probably the 3rd seed right now. So maybe you are the 3rd seed, and maybe you do host a Tennessee, maybe you do host an Indianapolis, and that's a game that you should win, but you also could easily lose. But then from there, I just don't see you guys being good enough to beat the Chiefs or the Steelers or the Patriots on the road. But, I'll give you guys a shot there. But Super Bowl, I don't think so. I don't think you're a Super Bowl team yet. If Will Fuller was healthy, I'll tell you might damn near be. I mean, Will Fuller was making a great year, great campaign, and unfortunately he went down. I do think he is the missing link for this team. But, hey, Deshaun Watson's playing well. I still hold by what I said. He was going to regress to the mean, and he has, right? I told you he's not going to be number 1 in passer rating, number 1 in touchdowns. No, he's going to be about middle of the league, and that's where he is. He's not Patrick Mahomes, okay? He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's in the Mitchell Trubisky range, and that's where he deserves to be. That's where I told you he would be. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Titans versus Texans. Where your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.